Buenos días a todos. Vamos a hablar hoy sobre los latinoamericanos que vivimos en Finlandia y este panel con expertos será en español. Perdón, no podrá ser en español, va a ser en los idiomas inglés y finés para que nuestro público general lo comprenda. Eli suomeksi, vaikka me kaikki puhumme espanjaa, niin kuin nyt meidän juontaja on sanonut, kyllä me tulemme puhumaan sekä englantia että espanjaa, kuin ymmärrämme, että yleisö ei aina ymmärrä niin paljon espanjan kieltä. So the conversation will be basically in English and Finnish, although all the experts here present come from Colombia, Nicaragua, Argentina, and Mexico. So we are here to discuss very important and realistic points of view about Latin Americans in Finland. We give the warm welcome to all our panelists. Jaime from Cinema Easy's director, and he has been also the founder of the Latin American Cultural Center, and he has a long wise knowledge of 30 years of how Latin Americans have lived in Finland. Gracias. Patricia Gomez representing the Nicaraguan embassy, also very relevant points of view of how Latin American embassies are working in Finland. And there we have also Pilar Valdivia, expert in multiculturalism. So thank you. We will start now. And of course, may I say very quickly also that we are representing the iCount project, of course, from MONIHELI. MONIHELI is a network organization having almost 70 multicultural organizations in Finland, the biggest in its kind. And MONIHELI has been administering this iCount project for around 2 years, and it will still continue 1 more year. So with iCount, we're trying to work hard on building information bridges of knowledge between Finnish citizens and the political parties in Finland, but also working hard on the integration topic. So thank you. And right now we're going to start with a brief history about the Latin American immigration in Finland. And we give the word to Jaime Potense. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Mä puhun suomea mieluummin. Mun pointti on lähinnä se, että jos me ollaan Suomessa ja olemme muuttunut tänne ja haluamme integroitua tähän maahan, meidän on parempi puhua maan kieltä. Sorry, Ricardo. Sitten latinalais-amerikkalainen maahanmuutto Suomeen oli vähän historiallinen vuonna 1973, koska chilelaiset pakolaiset, jotka tulivat silloin, kun vallankaappaus Chilessä kadotti Salvador Allenden hallituksen, olivat ensimmäinen järjestetty ulkomaalaisryhmä, joka tuli Suomen immigranteiksi. Ja oli myös chilelaisten pakolaisten ryhmä, oli hyvin järjestetty ryhmä. Kaikki he olivat vaikka yliopiston järjestöistä tai ammattiyhdistysliikkeestä tai poliittisesta puolueesta. Eli heillä oli aikamoinen hyvä kokemusta järjestää yhteiskuntalohkoja. Ja näin chilelaiset järjestivät Suomen myöskin kaikenlaisia urheilu- ja kulttuuriseuroja. Muun muassa lastenkerho Gabriela Mistral, johon tuli lapset koko mantereesta, tai etelä-amerikkalaisista perheistä, oli hyvin vahva. Ja se oli se latinalais-amerikkalaisten keskustelutila, siis tapaamistila monen vuoden aikana. Sitä lastenkerhosta syntyi myöhemmin Latinalais-Amerikan kulttuurikeskus, ja sitten kulttuurikeskuksesta syntyi elokuvafestivaali Cinema Easy, joka on tällä hetkellä ehkä suurin maahanmuuttajien vetämä kulttuuritapahtuma Suomessa. Se täyttää 10 vuotta tänä vuonna, ja muitakin järjestöjä. Mutta mä haluaisin myöskin korostaa, että tämä vaikka meillä on aikamoinen hyvä verhosto täällä Suomessa, se verhosto käsittelee ennen kaikkea koulutettu ryhmä etelä-amerikkalaista. On suuri osa maahanmuuttajista, ei vain Etelä-Amerikasta, kun muusta Afrikasta, Aasiasta ja kaikista maista, jotka eivät kuulu mihinkään organisaatioon. Ja se on aika iso heikkous meidän järjestöissä. Esimerkiksi me olemme täällä Kiipassa ja tänä vuonna Maailman kylän teema on Latinalainen Amerikka. Vähän niin kuin satumalta, koska MONIHELI, kiitos Adriana, kutsui meitä tänne. Mutta järjestäjät eivät vittynyt kutsua osallistumaan Maailman kylän tapahtumaan latinalais-amerikkalaisia järjestöjä. Vaikka meillä on, niin kuin selitin juuri, aika paljon. Eli tämä niin kuin kontradiktio, että halutaan niin kuin korostaa latinalais-amerikkalaista realiteettia ennen kaikkea kehitysnäkökulmasta. Ja toisaalta unohdetaan sitä rikkausta, mikä voi olla. Mä en sano, me olemme hyvin fiksuja eksperttejä, mutta kuitenkin meillä on jotakin sanottavaa. Ja kuten aina tai yleensä tapahtuu, täällä Suomessa maahanmuuttajien resurssit unohdetaan jatkuvasti. No niin, mutta se ei ole, mä en halua olla pessimistinen, kyllä on aika siis vielä, on aikaa vielä korjata nämä ongelmia. Voimme sanoa, miksi mitä varten latinalaisamerikkalaiset tulevat Suomen. Täällä on Väestöliiton jakautuma, miksi väestö on tullut Suomeen. Mä en usko, että latinalaisamerikkalaisten tapaus oli hyvin erilainen. Vapaa liikkuvuus EUn sisältää 30%, eli tämä ryhmä sisältää ennen kaikkea entisen Itä-Euroopan maahanmuuttajat tulevat tähän niin kuin työhön. Opiskelua varten tulee 19%, työväliaikainen tai pysyvä työtä varten 12%, perhesiide 28% ja humanitaarisen syiden takia 8%. Nämä 8% on ennen kaikkea turvapaikkahakijat ja heistä latinalais-amerikkalainen osa on aika pieni. Joo. Sitten moni meistä tulee, niin kuin koska meillä on joku poikaystävä tai tyttöystävä suomalainen, joka on tavattu jossain Espanjassa tai muualla, ja hänen kanssa tullaan Suomeen, tai opiskelua varten. Nykyään siis tämä realiteetti, mikä oli silloin vuonna 1973, kun ensimmäinen chileläinen ryhmä tuli Suomeen, on muuttunut paljon. Myöskin siis koko maailma on muuttunut 40 vuodessa. Nykyään se mobilisaatio mantereiden välillä on suurempi, siis huomattavasti, siis uhkamattomasti suurempi kuin 40 vuotta sitten. Ja moni tulee opiskelemaan, vaihto-oppilaita on paljon, on kaikenlaisia ohjelmia yliopistojen kautta ja on paljon helpompi tulla nykyään.
Por ahora, gracias. Thank you, Jaime, very much. We will very soon hear more from Jaime's knowledge and wisdom that he gladly wants to share with all of us. Now we would have some 5 minutes to listen the impressions of a Latin American diplomat living in Finland, which is Mrs. René Patricia Gomez from the Embassy of Nicaragua. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for expressing interest in this event today. First of all, I want to, on behalf of the Embassy of Nicaragua and of the Latin American embassies in Finland, express our congratulations to MONIHELI, and of course to the organizers here and to my colleagues Jaime and Pilar. Latin America was not so unknown to Finland. And although it was in 1960 that there was an increased awareness and interest for Latin America due to the emergence of social movements and revolutions like the revolution in Cuba in 1959, and the increasing of social movements, like I said, our relations goes back not to 40 decades ago. The relations within the Latin American countries and Finland goes far, far, far to the 1918 when the Latin American countries immediately recognized the independence of Finland. The first Latin American country that recognized the independence of Finland was Argentina, and then follow up the other Latin American countries, and Paraguay was the last in 1922. There is an interesting fact. The predecessor of Simón Bolívar visited Karelia in 1784. So we can have an idea that our relation goes really to the 18th century. It's not just in 1960. And for example, another interesting fact was that obviously the relations have been based on commercial ties between Finland and Latin America. It has changed some modalities, but it has been the main focus of Finland and Latin America. Another interesting fact, the first honorary consul of Finland was inaugurated in Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1922. The first ambassador appointed by Finland to Latin America was in Argentina in 1929. As we can see, after that, we have been having Finland and Latin America establish diplomatic relations between Latin America and Finland since 1929. As we can see, it is true that in 1960, there's much more awareness, and there is a group of citizens, Finnish citizens, who express a lot of solidarity towards Latin America. They express solidarity towards the revolutionary movements in Cuba. They express solidarities to the countries in Latin America who were suffering dictatorships. And they organized in the 1960s the Suomi Seuras. In 1963, the first Suomi Seura was the Cuban Suomi Cuba Seura. In 1973 was the Chile Suomi Chile Seura. And in Nicaragua, it was in 1981. I want to share with you that the idea of these strong ties that our people in Latin America have with Finland. For example, in the Winter War in 1939, Finland received humanitarian aid from Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, Uruguay, Venezuela. And Brazil, a year after that, gave a grant of $10 million to Finland. That was in 1939. As we can see, Finland started the humanitarian assistance with Peru in 1963. After that, Nicaragua was the first Latin American countries to be prioritized with economic development assistance. Nicaragua was the first country where Finland decided to give cooperation and development assistance. So as we can see, our ties goes beyond 40 decades. Our friendship and our solidarity and our ties with Finland has grown and maintained in these years. We think that this type of events will really help break the barriers and prejudice between both cultures, the Latin American cultures and the Finnish culture. We really are an amazing continent with an amazing people, diversity, culture, environment, and it's not just like that. We are right now one of the biggest economy and emerging economy in the world. So we think that this type of events will really give us much more solidarity between each other, and it's really important to start to break prejudice between both cultures. So thank you so much, and I really thank the organizers also.
Thank you, Mrs. René Patricia Gomez from the Nicaraguan Embassy. Now we will continue also with Pilar Valdivia's words on the role of the Latin American woman and her social and laboral integration. Basically, she has been living as a Colombian person in different countries such as Austria, Germany, China, and Finland. Thank you, Pilar.
Hey, good afternoon. I will do that in English. Otherwise, I will start talking in German. It's very important for me, very easy. Well, my name is Pilar Valdivia. I belong to those very well-educated women who came to Europe for education. Then I got to know this good-looking Finnish boy, white, good-looking guy, shy boy, never talk still, doesn't talk. Many years ago in Austria. When I went to university in Austria, it was so wonderful to see different cultures, different countries. We got a baby, we moved to Finland because it was for me very important to have the grandparents with us. In Austria, we will be alone. When I came here, I got a wonderful support for the women, which I love it in Finland. It was a place for my son, for the kindergarten. I started learning Finnish. I continued my education at the Helsinki University. I did all the things that you want me to do. I did all the degrees. And when I finished my education, I realized there was no job for me. There were different excuses. One of those, I remember one international school looking for a German and Spanish teacher. And I went to that school. I talked to the major, one of the principals, and he was a British guy, and he was very happy with me. Then I was supposed to talk with the Finn guy, and he asked me, how should I know that you really speak German? And for me, as a well-educated woman, a very feminist woman, I was feeling very disappointed. I've been fighting with that cliches for many years. I've been in Finland almost 20 years. 5 of them I was abroad. I went to China because of my husband's work. And no one single time asked about my education. They showed me, and they knew I was able to do. In Finland, I'm forced to show them that I know what I know. Even I got all the education, all the papers. So I can show you all the education certificates that I have in all languages in my house. There is a very difficult part that we have, women like me, that we are working in the social issue. If I were a nurse, I will have a lot of work. But I'm very high educated, intercultural encounters. I did a study also. Latin America and Asia are my strong field. I wasn't living in China. I was working with Chinese. I came back to Finland and no one wants my knowledge. I got the feeling no one wants my knowledge, but I will stand up because I'm a teacher. I need to stand up when I talk. So one of the best things is, as a Colombian woman, as a Cali woman, Latin woman, I do teach dances, of course, because dance is a part of my culture. So I've been teaching dances. And most of the time, my friends ask me, tell me, oh, what a pity you are not a boy. And I don't really know how to say that. Should I change my gender, or should I do something in order to get a job? And it's a pity, but it has a lot of things. So I'm be here because I'm tired of this cliche we have of the Latin women. There is a lot of very high educated Latin women. We love our husband and the shy guy over there. We love them. We are happily married. But I would like to be recognized as my knowledge, that they do really use the knowledge I have, as I have seen in Germany, as I've seen in China.
Thank you very much, Pilar. Now we're going to have some 10 minutes, basically, where each one of our great experts here will have around 2 minutes to answer to the following question or topic. It can be also a general topic. Eli nyt me puhutaan noin 10 minuutissa, jossa jokainen eksperti tulee puhumaan 2 minuuttia samoista teemoista. Eli miten on mennyt koko se kotoutumisprosessi sosiaalisesti ja työn puolelta. Eli you're going to each have 2 minutes to say your opinion on how Latin American immigrants in Finland have been integrated or not socially and in the working world. Thank you. 2 minutes. Jaime.
No niin, jos kaikki seisoo, minäkin seison.
Seisokaa.
Joo, mun mielestä kotoutuminen ja integraatio, mikä ero niissä on, kulkee ennen kaikkea työn kautta. Ihminen ja yhteiskunta kohtaavat ennen kaikkea työnteossa. Ja tässä on se, en mä tiedä onko se probleema tai missä se on. Minkälaisia ulkomaalaisia tai maahanmuuttajia Suomi haluaa ja minkälaisia ulkomaalaisia tai maahanmuuttajia haluaa tulla Suomeen. Mun mielestä Suomi on korkealla äänellä, on hallituksen ohjelmassa ja kaikkialla puhuttu, että Suomi tarvitsee korkeasti koulutettu työvoimaa, mutta realiteetissa, siis käytännössä, se työvoima, joka saa työtä helposti Suomesta, on nimenomaan se tekninen työvoima ja ennen kaikkea halpa työvoima. Nykyään tämän hetken avainsana Suomessa on kilpailuttaminen. Kyllä, se halvempi työvoima saa työpaikkoja ja järjestetään jatkuvasti jopa lainmuutoksia, jota halpa työvoimaa tulee Suomeen. Esimerkiksi marjanpoimijat tulee Suomeen ilman kaikkia rekvisiitteja, mikä vaaditaan kaikista muista. Miksi? Koska he ovat siis käytännössä orjia työvoimia. Niillä ei ole mitään vakuutus, että he tulevat plussalla työnteon jälkeen. Euroopan integraatio on luonut sen, että voi täällä kuka tahansa voi tuoda tai alihankkia muista eurooppalaisista yrityksistä työvoimaa tänne. Ja niin sitten tulee halpa työvoima, joka saa palkkaa lähtömaan lain mukaisesti ja kilpailee halvalla palkalla suomalaisten työntekijöiden kanssa. Ja toinen systeemi, joka on aika nyt yleinen, on vuokratyövoimasysteemi. Se on orjuus. Siis kyllä orjuus oli ihan laillinen 200 vuotta sitten. Eikö ollutkin? Eikö Yhdysvallat, Englanti, Hollanti, Espanja, siis Ranska, kaikki ne nykyään, ja Kiina Aasiassa, kaikki ne nykyään voimakkaimmat maat tekivät heidän voimakkuuden nimenomaan orjatyövoimalla. Ja silloin se oli aivan laillinen. No nykyään tämä vuokratyövoima, sekin on laillinen. Niin? Ja ketkä ovat ennen kaikkea orjatyövoiman kohteita, ulkomaalaisia maahanmuuttajia, etelä-amerikkalaisia tai muista mantereista. Eli mun mielestä mä en halua vain kritisoida, kun myöskin yrittää saada aikaan ratkaisuja. Miten voimme luoda semmoisen maalin, jossa tämä maali, minkälaisia immigrantteja Suomi haluaa, ja se toinen maali, mitä varten ihmiset haluavat tulla Suomeen, ne kohtaavat ja ne voi löytää yhteisen kielen tai yhteisen sävelmän. Se on yksi meidän maahanmuuttajien ja myöskin Suomen yhteiskunnan yhteinen tehtävä tulevaisuuteen.
Kiitoksia, Jaime.
Kiitos.
Kiitos. Kiitos tärkeästä puheenvuorosta. Kiitos tosi paljon. Eli we would continue now with Mrs. René Patricia Gomez from the Nicaraguan Embassy. The same question. A couple of minutes, please, on the Latin American immigrant and her integration into Finland. Thank you.
Thank you, Adriana. Yeah, but I forgot to express and to say that there are 10 embassies here in Finland from Latin America, which is Nicaragua, Cuba, Mexico, Chile, Colombia, Uruguay, Peru, Venezuela, Brazil, Argentina. So because I was talking about the embassies and I didn't give you the names of all the embassies that we have here in... in relation to what Jaime was just saying, I think there are some the Latin Americans who are immigrants here in Finland, obviously they have to go to integrate themselves, they have to learn the language. That's a must. But at the same time, what they have found, and there is a perception in this sense, is that they need to also belong to networks. Not to the Latin American organizations that deal with culture and that, no, to the Finnish networks. In order for them to really be recommended, although maybe they are qualified, but if there isn't a Finnish person who gives the recommendation, it is very difficult for them to really get a job. But I think it is important to outline and to highlight today that we Latin Americans have obviously some advantages in this society and in this market over the Finnish people. And one of them is the international working experience that we bring. The other one is the personality. We're very open, warm, we talk a lot, we express a lot, and I think that's an added value that I believe Finnish sometimes get a little bit annoyed, but when you start to get to meet people from Latin America, you kind of like it. It's part that it is like that. We have a contribution to diversity. We are an amazing, diverse countries. We speak the same language, Spanish. Brazil speaks Portuguese, but we are diverse in all of the sense. We are not a homogeneous continent. We're heterogeneous countries. And the other one is the cultural awareness, which I think it is also, we bring that to these countries. And of course, highly educated human resources for Finland. Thank you.
Gracias, Patricia, por tu muy importante punto de vista. Gracias. Thank you, Patricia. So now we would continue with Pilar. Pilar, por favor, your points. I know you have many, but we have only 2 minutes. Thank you. Gracias.
No. I think integration, of course, is very important. And for me as a woman, it was very important to have my wonderful mother-in-law. She was the one who was showing me how is the Finnish society. Because when you come with a Finnish husband, no one explains you how the system works because they expect your husband knows. But your husband doesn't know anything about that because he's a Finn. How he should know where to find or whatever, the grammar, whatever. So it was very important to find 2 things. Actually 3. My mother-in-law, the great folksoksule, what do you have, and the great libraries. I think they were the 3 places when I was always there, meeting, getting to know Finnish women. Thank you, Finnish women. You gave me a lot of support, and I have got a lot of wonderful support from you, and I'm very happy of that. So, but not every woman is that. No, it's like me. I am very open-minded. I go and talk to everyone. No one asks me, are you drunk? At the beginning, they thought, you should be stupid or should be drunk because you're always talking. Well, now they know, well, she is a foreigner. But it's a way of learning the language, and through sports is a wonderful way of integration. And we need to move more women, foreign women, into sport, in different kind of sports, to get to know you. I've been working with different projects in Finland, and we have been also through food. We have to get to know you also. Many doors open to us because we were cooking, or you were cooking with us, which is very important. Very simple thing. It's not very easy to be here with our families, but we can get a lot of support from you women. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Pilar. Lots to talk, little time, precious minutes. The next question or topic, it's about racism. Such a broad topic, mutta eli nyt puhutaan rasismista. Onko semmoinen vai ei? Katsotaan, mikä sanotaan tästä latinamerikalaiset näkökulmasta. Kiitos, Jaime. 2 minuuttia taas, tai pikkusen alle 2 minuuttia, kiitos.
Juu, kiitos. No joo, onko Suomessa rasismi tai mitäs mieltä te olette? Mä en voisi sanoa suoraan sanoen, että Suomi on rasistinen maa. Ei ole. Ei kerta kaikkiaan ole. Se on aivan tommonen yksipuolinen ja sempeli vastaus. Kyllä Suomessa on hienoja ihmisiä, jotka on ottanut meidät vastaan, niin kuin Pilar sanoi, komeita miehiä ja hyviä anopeja. All right. Mutta Suomessa on aika suuri tietämättömyys. Siis harva suomalainen tietää todella, minkälaista elämää me elämme. Kuinka monta teistä on kutsunut ulkomailla tai vähän muuttajia kotiin syömään joskus? Ihan extempore. No jotkut ovat kiva, hyvä, mutta tarvitaan nimenomaan siis tuntea toisiamme paljon enemmän ja rikkoa näin ennakkoluuloja ja tietämättömyyttä. Tämä uusi populistinen puoli tai populistinen aalto, joka Euroopassa on nykyään voimassa, se lähtee siitä, että ihmiset pelkää työpaikoista, turvallisuudesta. On kyllä todellisia ongelmia olemassa ja on helppo sittenkin heittää kaikki syyt ulkomaalaisille. Kyllä ulkomaalainen tulee tekemään töitä halvalla täällä. Miksi? Koska heidän maassa on köyhyyttä. Mutta mikä on sitten se lääke? Lääke on stabilisoida tuloja ympäri maailmaa, eikä olla rasistisia heitä kohtaan. Ja mitä mä lyhyesti vähän niin kuin ehdotan, on se, kutsukaa kotiin ne ulkomaalaiset, ne maahanmuuttajat, jotka ovat sivoja, teidän toimistoja, jotka ovat teidän postinkantajia. Kutsukaa vaikka kahville tai kaljalle tai mitä vaan, siis puhukaa. Mäkin lupaan, että puhun enemmän suomalaisten kanssa. Kiitos.
Muchas gracias, Jaime Potense. René Patricia,
Okay.
thank you from the Nicaraguan Embassy.
Yes, I would maybe in a few words would say that there are some barriers, and maybe this is perceived by Latin Americans as racism. And one of them is cultural differences. And sometimes we think when we don't know, we are a little bit afraid of the unknown, of something that we have never heard or seen. So I believe this is not only on behalf of the Finnish people, but also on our behalf. I would say also on our part. There's a little bit of afraid to get to know other cultures and cultures which are totally different. We are very different. But there is one of the things, once you're here, once you start to get to know people from other cultures, those barriers start to continue. So I think one of the ways to break that barrier or to break that prejudice or racism is, the Finnish language, obviously. And the other one is trying to have more relations, talk about more, bring more people. This type of events is very important to break the barriers, to get to know that we are different, but we are very diverse. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, René Patricia Gómez. Pilar, por favor.
Well, racism, I haven't felt that in Finland. I came back last year to Finland after 5 years abroad, and I was feeling at home. And it's very nice to see more dark people on the street. I think you like my skin color, so it's not a problem. I come from a country which is very racist. Latin America is very racist. We are racist against each other. We have all kind of issues. No, you are not racist. Finns are not racist. But we have privileges that you have that we don't have. I don't have the network of friends. If I'm looking for a job, I need a Finnish friend who calls and says she is good. And it's talking again that's not racist, it's protectionism. And that's not the same thing. So I'm sorry, but I don't feel bad in Finland. I feel it's my second home. Kyllä minä rakastan tätä maata ja minulla on hyvä olo tässä. Ja ei kukaan sano, että neekedi lähtee pois. Minä olen kuitenkin neekedi, se haita, jos joku sanoo sillä tavalla.
Gracias, Pilar. Thank you. Thank you very much to our three panelists, experts. Now we would have some minutes for questions from you to the panel, please. And Tino is here with the microphone, so if anybody would have a question, comment, suggestion.
You don't need just to make questions. We would like to discuss with you, just to talk with you, to listen your points of view.
I have a question. We are speaking about the racism. Yes, can you hear me? Even though the poor Europeans have been going to Latin America in 2 waves, maybe sometime after 3 times, I don't know how many times, but there never been a party that's against foreigners in Latin America when we have had the Nazis in the 30s and same kind of movements right after the problems come. So can you explain what's the difference if you think Latin America is racist, but there is not party getting on this position?
You know, you are the whites. We are colonials. In colonials, you are the good ones, and we are the bad ones.
It is very logic. Is a Finn or an English or Belgium goes to Africa, to Latin America, and establish there and founds a company and buys land. But it's not that normal that we come here and we have a company or we have land or we are. Listen, there are very few, but really very few, if anyone, foreigner or immigrant in any position, high position in Finland. And I don't mean president or minister. I mean, for instance, director of a library. Is there any foreigner? No. I mean, principal of a school. Is there any foreigner as principal of a school? No. I mean, in the board of KEPA. Is there any foreigner in the board of KEPA? No.
Está bien, de acuerdo. Me pareció muy bien.
Thank you for very interesting speeches and presentations. Thank you. My question concerns the networking of Latin Americans. I understand, yes, you're very correct about, it's not like a homogeneous continent or culture in any sense. But what's your general impression about networking of Latin Americans, whether there's the solidarity amongst all, regardless of the country of origin, or whether there's actually quite intense competition amongst Latin Americans, for example, looking for jobs in Finland? Thank you.
Thank you for your participation. No, I don't think so. I think we have a very solidarian relationship and very interesting networking as Latin Americans. I wouldn't think that it will be different. We are here in the North Pole. You need to have, in some way, some, interesting communications with your other colleagues that speaks the same language and has the same culture. So I don't think so. I think we are very close.
Latin America is a continent in a way particular because there are some 20 countries and many 100 million people who speak the same language. We have more or less the same history. same religion with differences, but the same same way of thinking. No, we're a mix of cultures, a mix of races, and I have myself Italian blood and English blood and Indian blood, and that's it. And we do not compete here in Finland. In the film festival, Cinema Easy, for instance, we are people from Mexico, from Chile, Argentina, many from all the countries, and you are welcome as well to work with us.
Thank you. And in the name of MONIHELI, and specifically from the ICOUNT project, you can see our information in icount.fi. We have information in English and Finnish, soon also in Russian and Spanish, of course, Espanol, and many other languages. And in the name of that, we would like to very deeply show our deepest gratefulness to Mr. Jaime Potense from Cinema Easy, to Mrs. René Patricia Gomez Landon from the Nicaraguan Embassy. Thank you, gracias. And to Pilar Valdivia, multicultural expert. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day. Feliz domingo para todos y muchas gracias.
Gracias a todos.
Muchas gracias.